Ladies and gentlemen, the layoffs are real. If you're watching this video, the likelihood is that you've just been laid off or you think it might happen soon. So the question automatically becomes, what happens now? Sainsbury's have announced that they are cutting 1,500 jobs in a cost-cutting plan. Star Wars has been cancelled because EA are cutting 670 jobs. PlayStation are axing 900 jobs and closing their London studio. Body Shop shutting 75 stores across the UK, leading to 489 jobs being slashed. I think by this point, you get the idea. A lot of these layoffs happen very abruptly, causing employees distress and uncertainty. And I should know, I fell victim to this during the COVID-19 pandemic, because that layoff left me rudderless as I was trying to steer my ship to its next destination. A layoff can happen at any time, and it can happen when you least expect it. That being said, employers do offer notice periods in employee contracts, but these can vary from between 1 week to a couple of weeks to 1 month to 3 months if you're lucky. However, regardless of notice periods, regardless of years of service, there are still signs which you can look out for to see if there is a potential layoff coming on the horizon. The first thing to look out for are large budget cuts. Keep a sharp eye if there will be any kind of decrease in spending for projects, events, even, dare I say, employee bonuses. Changes in company performance. Are there any telltale signs of your company struggling with client acquisition, sales revenue, or market share? If you work at a startup, are there signs that there is no longevity to the company's financial future? Changes in the style of management. Have you noticed a change in transparency from leadership when it comes to future plans and future challenges? If you notice any of these things happening within your company, the number one tip I want to give you right now is please do not panic. But you can use this time effectively to make sure that your financial, professional, and indeed medical needs are all well covered. So let's get into the ways in which you can prepare in these 3 different areas. You may have heard this before, but in case you need a reminder, build an emergency fund. On average, you should have roughly somewhere between 3 to 6 months worth of savings built up. But in an economy like this, it is not uncommon to take multiple months off to find another job. So you may need to save up even more than that. And make sure you find a high yield savings account, somewhere where you can earn a good amount of interest on the amount of money you have saved away, as well as ensuring relative ease of access to those emergency funds. Minimize your credit card and high interest debt. I have spoken about this one on numerous occasions, but it's something that you should be doing every day. Never mind if you lose your job. If you can't contribute to paying off that debt because you don't have an income because you lost your job, that high interest is going to feel like a hand on your throat, choking you. Should you need help with a debt repayment plan or ways to pay off your debts, please let me know in the comments down below and I will do my very best, my absolute best to assist. Understand your severance package. Study the details. Understand the duration of the severance pay, the continuation of benefits, and what support you can get moving forward. If you require any further support in understanding the details of your severance packages, there are multiple public sources that you can use, namely Reddit and LinkedIn. People often speak more candidly in these online forums, and you can also reach out to them to ask any follow-up questions. On to professional preparation. Update your resume. You do not want to forget everything that you have accomplished in this role, so list down those achievements and update your resume as quickly as possible. And above all, keep it sharp. The same case can be made for your skills and certifications. If you look at a number of job applications that are listing skills that you currently do not possess, it would be a very wise decision to take a course to add those skills to your resume. There are numerous online sources, free and low cost, where you can go to learn these new skills at your own pace, so you're not feeling pressured. This next one may be common knowledge, but you must remember to keep your network intact. If you have good relationships at your last workplace, maintain them, because they could give you a helping hand if they are successful and you are still looking for work. Similarly, if you require a referral for a position you have just applied to, it's good to have dependable people within your network that you can rely on. Health insurance and benefits. If you have health perks, dental perks, vision perks, utilize them whilst you are still in employment. So take note of the coverage details, the deductibles, and the duration of coverage post-employment. In general, there's nothing wrong with maintaining good health. There is nothing wrong with being healthy. So schedule as many appointments as you can. Eye appointments, dental appointments, heart appointments, whatever you are covered for, utilize it as soon as possible. So, after taking all of that into account, the big question, what happens next? Let's say mass layoffs do come to the UK and you are one of the citizens who are affected. First things first, get on the job seekers allowance. The job seekers allowance is an unemployment benefit that you can claim whilst you are looking for work. Now, there are eligibility criteria that you will need to meet, and I will leave a link to this down in the description below if you do indeed need to sign up. But if you are over the age of 25, you can be entitled to a maximum of £84.80 per week. And whilst you are looking for work, this can be a very good source of income to help you survive. There is no shame in signing up whilst you are looking for work. So do sign up and support yourselves. Speaking of the importance of the job seekers allowance benefits, you must also make a list of your non-negotiable expenses. This will include but not limited to housing, food, transportation costs, insurance. After understanding the essentials, you can then focus on reducing the unnecessary expenses. No more fancy restaurants, no more lavish shopping trips, no more first-class holidays. You are now in survival mode. Finally, we must also address pension plans, because what happens to your pension plan after you leave the company? A good majority of companies do offer a retirement plan, and that's great. But what happens when you are laid off? Let me break down the different options available to you real quick. The first option, you can just leave it as it is. The benefit here is that there's no need to transfer anything over, you can just leave it with your former employer. Now, there is a benefit to having the same setup and the same fees, but you could also find yourself at a disadvantage with less flexibility. It could become harder to access if the company changes hands of ownership a few times, and because you no longer work there, you cannot contribute to that pension fund anymore. So the second option, and the one that I would recommend personally, is to roll it over into your new employer's pension plan. The pro here is that you can consolidate everything together in one place, so you're not having to go through different places to get access to your pension funds. The downside is that there is some paperwork to fill out to make that transfer across happen, but it may well be worth it just to have the comfort of everything in one place. So after covering all of those basics, you now get to a point where you can find your next position. Yes, getting your resume sorted and your network sorted is a given. Yes, applying to jobs every week and staying on top of it is a given. However, if you are not successful initially, please don't feel disheartened and please look after your mental health. There are people online who are still struggling to find work after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. All those rejections have a major toll on your mental health. So lastly from me, please make sure that you allow yourself opportunities to breathe and that you have people around you who love and support you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all real soon.